BRICS in news. Why is BRICS in the news? Let's discuss this. Recently, 14th BRICS summit convened under the chairmanship of China, a virtual format held there. Highlights of the summit was a theme of the summit that was a foster high quality BRICS partnership. It's a usher in a new era for a global development. This was a theme. The BRICS leaders adopted a Beijing declaration. India also proposed the initiative there. India called for strengthening of the BRICS identity and proposed the establishment an online database for BRICS documents. As of BRICS Railway Research Network, strengthening cooperation between the MSMEs. India also organizes BRICS startup events this year to strengthen the connection between startups in BRICS countries. A denial of a safe haven to corruption. That was a heading. BRICS welcomed the BRICS initiative on denial on a safe haven to corruption, which further strengthened anti-corruption capacity building. The member of the BRICS nation was a Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Objectives was to promote the peace, security, development, cooperation in the world. Second objective was making a positive impact on the development of humanity and establishing a more equitable and a fairer world. The five emerging economies of the BRICS represents Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The overall population was 3 billion in a world, and the land area the BRICS represent was 40 million in a world. The GDP the BRICS gave to world was 24 trillion, and export and import in 2022 by the 3 billion in the world. India's contribution in the BRICS, if we discuss the proposal of a new development bank in 2012, added the Urbanization Forum to BRICS cooperation mechanism to learn from each other experience in tackling challenges of rapid urbanization. The second contribution was to institutionalize the practice of holding BRICS Academic Forum meeting as a preparatory meeting and for annual summits. If we talk about the BRICS achievements, establishment of a new development bank, that NDB contingent reserve arrangements they are also called. The NDB headquarter in Shanghai that has been established in a purpose of mobilizing the resources for infrastructure and sustainable development project in BRICS and other emerging and developing countries, and the contingent reserve arrangements that intended to provide a liquidity through current swaps in a response to actual or any potential short-term or balance of payment crisis. Then second achievement was IMF reform. The joint reform of the BRICS culminated in 2008. In 2010, the reform proposes on a quota and governance. Subsequently, the quota of the IMF was doubled with a total 6% share transferred to the emerging and developing countries. The vote of the China, Russia, Brazil and India was increased, enriched to total 14%. Now, if we talk about this new development bank in a brief, that is, a new development bank has announced the launch of an Indian regional office in Gujarat International Finance Tech City, that's called Gift City. About the BRICS New Development Bank, that is a new development bank is a multilateral development institutions established by BRICS countries during the sixth BRICS summit in Fort Tarzella in 2014. The bank membership is open to members of the UN, whoever wanted to be, and admitted the four new members in 2021 as of Bangladesh, Egypt, UAE, and Uruguay. The purpose of this with authorized capital of the 100 billion NDB support the public and private infrastructure, sustainable development projects in BRICS nation, other emerging and developing economies. Government structure is functioned through a board of government, board of director, president, vice president, and president are being elected from one of the founding member. Importance of the multilateral development institutional for developing countries like of India. First, it helped the inventors investors and business leaders to expansion through a new and fast growing maker. It also helped to overcome the disadvantage suffered due to low credit ratings. Major sources of the financial and technical assistance India will get: support in coordinating and responsive to the region and global challenges, and the major global and a regional. If we talk about world banks, IMFs, Africa development banks, Asian development banks, new development banks, Asian infrastructure investment banks, these are some banks which always work global level for infrastructure and sustainable development manners.